Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mindful Monday. I changed my location, as you can plainly see. I thought we'd work a little bit on joy, and nothing gives me more joy than having my Christmas tree decorated, and especially when other people help me decorate it. That happened this year, and that's really a great thing. So I'd like to start laying down. So find a comfortable position on your mat. Go ahead and lay down, and if you want to tuck your blanket rolled up under your knees, or cover up if it's a little chilly in your space, or even put something under your neck. Go ahead and make yourself super comfy. And then as you get settled in, maybe let your eyes close, or just soften your gaze. Begin to feel that sense of being supported by the surface beneath you. And feel the parts of the body that are making contact with that surface. And then notice maybe there's some parts that are not making contact. Tune into your space, accepting whatever reality you have around you this morning. So, temperature of the air, the sounds in your space. Someone just made a fresh pot of coffee and it smells so good. So, any aromas. Just bring your awareness to your entire body on the mat. Notice what you notice about your physical presence. You might take a moment to bring one hand to the heart or both hands and just acknowledge the beating of your heart. And bring your awareness to that heart space. And then just relax your hands, your arms down at your sides. And begin to invite in a deeper breath. Softening the belly. Inhaling into the ribs. And then expanding the lungs as you bring the air all the way up into the tippy-top portions of your lungs. Make your exhalation long and slow. As always, we do our best to keep our exhalations a little longer than our inhalations. It elicits that relaxation response in the body. Let's take a couple more nice, long, delicious breaths as we begin our day together. So cultivating a sense of joy, even in the midst of difficult times, requires a certain amount of acceptance of what is. So as we move through this practice, let's accept that there might be some shapes that we make that will not work for our bodies. We'll just modify. And we'll see where we can find some joy in just the smallest things. So as you're ready, you can blink open your eyes and move any props out of the way and just come to lying down neutral on your mat. Let your spine and your legs extend. Good. And then we're going to hug our knees into our chest. Take any movements that might feel good to start. So rock from side to side. Give yourself a little lower back massage, or maybe take those circles. Just notice how your back is doing this morning. This is such a loving thing to do for yourself. First thing in the morning is to come to your mat and just, oh my goodness, rock from side to side. Just let your back get ready for the day. So I find some joy in that. So we're going to take Gomukhasana, cow face leg. So take one leg and cross it over the other. I have my left one across my right. And then see if you can get a hold of your ankles. If this doesn't work for you, figure 4 is another option. So that ankle can come across the quadricep of the opposite leg. But see if you can squeeze your legs together, and you'll feel the stretch in whichever hip you are stretching. So mine is the left, whichever leg is on top. And then notice what happened to your shoulders here. See if you can let your shoulders relax down, and notice what happened to your face and your breath. And see if you can maybe just close your eyes to remind yourself that this is your yoga practice, and you are encouraged to breathe deeply here. So as you start to feel tension or tightness in any part of the body, just remember that the breath is your vehicle for relaxation. So get in that car and drive that breath. So we'll take one more deep inhalation here. And as you exhale, just release the bottom leg long, and take a hold of, if you have access to it, the outside of that foot that was on top, the leg that was on top. And we'll come into a half happy baby. So if you don't have access to the outside of this foot, you can just hold on to your ankle, your pant leg. If you have a strap, you can loop your strap around that. Well, once you get a hold of that happy baby, you might feel like rocking that leg from side to side or straightening it out. Find some joy in this movement. So happy baby is one of the most joyful poses. So a little smile might enhance the experience, right? And then just come to stillness. And let's make sure we're breathing here. Let's take a couple more breaths here in this half happy baby. Excellent. And then as you're ready, we'll release that left leg long, send it long, and just notice, hey, maybe there's a little difference in the right and the left leg. And if you were on the right leg, notice the difference. And as you're ready, we're going to take the opposite leg into that Gomukhasana, cow face. And if you'd like to do figure 4 instead, that's your option. Make it joyful. Reach for your ankles, your pant legs, your shins. And just soften here. So soften the shoulders down, soften the face, maybe a little smile, maybe whistle a little Christmas tune. Good. Something you may not know about me is for 15 years I was a professional Christmas caroler. So I know a lot of Christmas songs. I know a lot of Hanukkah songs too, actually. So we used to play Stump the Caroler whenever we'd go on gigs, and people would try to come up with a Christmas song we didn't know. All right, I think that's sufficient for this side. So let's release the bottom leg long. Take that top leg into your half happy baby. Reach for the outside of the foot, the pant leg, the ankle. And see if you can really soften that left, or the extended leg, hip flexor. See if you can just get that stretch, that length at that leg as you draw that the knee in toward the shoulder. And then you might want to take some stretches. Don't knock your Christmas tree over if you're by your tree. Maybe extend your leg, straighten and bend. And then find stillness. Let's close our eyes and take a couple of breaths here. Enjoying our half happy baby. So yeah, we know some really obscure Christmas songs. Good. All right, one more breath. And as you're ready, just slowly release that leg long. And then take a full body stretch. Reach your arms overhead. Take a big breath in. Maybe point your toes. Maybe arch your back just ever so slightly. And then as you exhale, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Bring your nose towards your knees. And then if you like, only if you like, begin to rock forward and back. If you decide you want to skip that, just roll to one side and we'll come up to a seat. Take a few of these rocks until you feel like you're ready to come on up. And then we'll just take a seat, crisscross applesauce, Sukhasana. And notice how your hips feel now. Let's take some shoulder rolls. Draw those shoulders up. And then roll them on back and down. Inhale them up. And exhale them down. Good. Third time's the charm, as they say. Good. Awesome. And then take your chin down to your chest and just stretch the back of the neck. Maybe take a few little rotations side to side, or draw some circles with your nose. Just get that neck nice and stretched out. Awesome. And come to center. Let your chin be parallel with the earth. Don't get dizzy. And then as you're ready, reach your arms out and joyfully reach up, look up, and draw your hands down through your center of your body, down into your heart. And take a moment to pause here. Create an intention for this practice. Simple, joyful intention. As you're ready, we'll release that inhale. Reach up for all the joy and exhale it down into your heart, chin to chest. Good. One more inhale. And exhale. Awesome. When you're ready, take your left hand and place it on the mat. Let your right arm reach overhead and take a lean over towards your left side. Maybe look under your right shoulder. Good. Inhale, and as you exhale, switch. Good. Inhale here and exhale, switch again. Finding that side stretch, lengthen the side body. Inhale and exhale, switch. Awesome. Let's take one more each side, just moving with your own breath. Keeping the hips on the floor. Nice. And as you come up, switch the cross of your legs. So our hips are getting equal time. We'll just take some hip circles here, going in one direction. Whichever one you decided is perfectly fine. Awesome. Good. Switching directions here. Don't get dizzy. Awesome. And then come up. Just take a moment to pause. Let your shoulders drop down away from the ears if they've inched up there. And let your eyes close. And just notice. Notice that entire body now seated, different shape. Notice the hips. Notice the breath. And then as you're ready, blink open your eyes. Let's take our feet in front of us, about hip width. Take your hands behind you. Fingers can point away or toward you. And just give yourself a few windshield washer motions here. Moving those hips from side to side. Awesome. Then come up to center. We'll take our blanket. We'll come briefly through a tabletop pose. So pad your knees. Take your blanket, smooth it out. Smooth out the wrinkles. And let your knees be under your hips, hands under shoulders. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Press into the joints of the fingers and let the tops of the feet rest. And then let your belly drop. Let your head and your gaze lift as you come into your first cow pose. Take a big breath in as you do and exhale round. Bring your belly into your spine. Press the mat away. Cat pose. Excellent. Moving with your breath. Nice big movements. The spine is already a little warm. So maybe you can really let the belly descend and really draw that back up toward the ceiling, stretching. As your back permits. Awesome. Let's take one more each way. And the next exhalation brings us into that cat pose. And then we bring our knees wide as our mat and bring your big toes to touch. And sink the hips back and come into an extended child's pose here. Let the forehead relax on the floor. And then inch your fingers forward, keeping your shoulders drawing back toward the ears. See if you can get a little more stretch in the upper back and the arms by just taking your fingers a little more forward. Get those shoulders tucked in. And then notice what happened to your breath as we start to stretch a little more deeply. Keep it smooth and slow and joyful. And we'll take one more breath in. Just let your hands relax. And take your hands, make a little nest, and bring it behind your head, right to that little occipital bone right there at the base of your skull there, and just a little bit of traction there. We'll take another breath here, and a deep exhalation. Relaxing the neck while you're back there. You can even give yourself a little neck massage. And then as you're ready, release your hands. Come back up through table. Take your hands a little bit farther forward than they were in tabletop. Spread your fingers nice and wide again and tuck your toes. We'll lift up into our first downward facing dog. So make your dog your own again here. If this shape does not serve you, come to the front of your mat and we will meet you in a forward fold. But if you love a good down dog, then just walk it out. Bending one knee and then the other. Breath slow and smooth. And then as you're ready, just take those heels and press them toward the floor. Keep as much of a bend in your knees as you need. But lift your hips a little bit higher. You can get that length. Keep a soft neck. Lengthen the spine. Good. And as you're ready, come up on your tippy toes, remove your blanket, and then take a walk to the front of your mat. And let your feet land about hip width apart. And then we'll just come into our favorite forward fold. So for you, it might be just letting your hands dangle. You might have a little more of a bend in your knees this morning. Or you might come into a ragdoll, reaching for your elbows. And just when you get there,
Make it your own. So whatever you need for your lower back this morning. Let's take another full breath. Good. And exhale it out. And then on your next inhalation, we'll come up to our halfway lift. So the shoulders draw back. We'll make that little half table here. And as you exhale, refold. Maybe fingertips come to the floor or your blocks. And then as you inhale, bend your knees, root your feet to rise, and reach all the way up for the ceiling, for the sky. Let your fingertips reach up as they frame your ears. And as you're reaching up, maybe looking up if your balance is feeling really steady this morning, press into your feet. So engage your legs. Press into your feet. Get really nice and long. Good. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, take a hold of the left wrist and lean over to the right side. Yay, the sun is coming out. It's going to be a great day. See? Joy, joy, joy. When you're ready, inhale back up to center. Take a hold of the right wrist and lean left. Good. Keep both feet firmly planted. Firmly rooted. Inhale back up to center. And let's take goddess arms, cactus arms. Either name will do. And then lean back, look up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Get rid of any hunching tendencies. And then take your hands behind your back, clasp them. Bend your knees as much as you need to as we fold forward. And lift your arms overhead. See if you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Breathe in. And as you exhale, just bend one knee and look under the opposite, to the opposite side of the bent knee. Good. As you exhale, release. Inhale. And as you exhale, take it to the other side. Upside down, stretching those shoulders. Good. Exhale to release. And then release your arms down. Just dangle. Find your dangle. Rock from side to side. Maybe your legs are a little more straight here. And then on your inhale, come to a flat back. And on your exhale, refold. And on your inhale, root to rise. We'll move a little bit faster here. Take your gaze up and lean back. Come into your goddess pose or your cactus. And as you exhale, we're going to fold forward. Coming into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, take that right leg all the way back to the back of the mat. We'll come into a low lunge here. So a little runner's lunge, rock forward and back. Get that stretch in that right leg. Excellent. And come to stillness. Inhale, let yourself come to your fingertips and gaze forward. Draw the shoulders back and down. And then take your right hand to the inside of the left leg. Sweep the left arm up. Take your twist. Awesome. And as you exhale, the hand comes down. And just take that left leg to straight. We're going to bend the right knee and hop it forward just about 6 inches or so. And come into pyramid pose. So taking your nose to your left knee, fingertips on the floor. Good. Relax the back of the neck as you breathe. Keep as much of a bend in your knee as you press that as you need, as you press your right heel toward the floor. When you're ready, on your inhale, we're going to come to that halfway lift and bring our weight into that left foot, the front foot. Take your fingertips just ever so slightly in front of that left foot, and then we're going to lift up that right leg. See what happens. Just see what happens. You can completely skip this if it's not working for you. But if you're feeling really kind of ready to take a half moon pose, we're just going to sweep our right arm up and turn our torso toward the center. So flexing that right foot might help. Yeah, just notice the wobble. Be joyful about it. If you fall out, come back. Good. This is tricky stuff, balancing. So let's take one more breath. Keep it smooth and steady. And as you exhale, take your right hand down to the floor. Take your left foot down to the floor. Place your palms on the floor and step the left foot back and come into a downward facing dog. Okay, that was fun. Did a little flying, did a little balancing. Let's see what happens on the other side. Take a big breath in your downward facing dog and press your heels toward the floor. Good. Nice breath in. As you lift your right leg high, let's step it forward. We'll come into our low lunge here on the right side. So the left leg extended, rock forward and back in your runner's lunge. Good. Enjoying this runner's lunge. And then as you're ready, take the left hand to the inside of that right foot. Sweep that right arm up. Come into your runner's lunge twist. Twisting, twisting. Good. Big breath in and exhale to replace that hand. Come up to your fingertips. And then think about jumping that left leg forward 6 inches or so, coming into those railroad tracks. So both feet, toes are pointing forward, so you're parallel. And then as you're ready, take your nose toward that right knee, straightening your legs as much as you are able. Maybe there's still a little bend in that front knee. Pressing that left heel toward the floor, shoulders down away from the ears. Nice easy breath. Good. One more breath in. And as you're ready, we're going to bend that right knee. Come into that right foot. Take your right hand to the front of your mat. And then think about lifting that left leg. Now, this is fine to stay here, just lifting that leg. But if you'd like, you can peel that left arm up, flex that left foot, and come into your half moon on this side. Good. Again, if your Christmas tree is right beside you, it gives you added incentive to not come out of this pose. So keep your breath smooth. We've got this. One more breath in and one more breath out. As you take your left hand to the floor, step your left foot to the floor, and take your right foot back. We'll come into a downward facing dog. Nice big breath in. Lift your hips a little bit higher. Find your down dog. Press your heels toward the floor. You're doing a great job. One more breath in and one more breath out. And then we'll lift our right leg up to the sky, step it on forward. Good. And then we're going to take a walk. In my case, it's toward the left, toward my Christmas tree. We're going to come into a forward fold. So I'm not giving you a very good, I'm going to switch. I'm not giving you a very good angle. So come into a wide leg forward fold on your mat. And then when you're ready, halfway lift. Bring your fingertips to the floor. And then on your exhalation, fold forward. Come into your forward fold here. Letting your hands gently come to the floor. And then when you're ready, halfway lift again. We'll bend that right leg and come on over toward the right, stretching that inner thigh. And on your exhale, just walk on over to the left. Good. We'll take a couple more passes here. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Awesome. And then as you're ready, come on over so your both toes are facing forward. Step whichever leg is forward back. And then we'll come into a plank pose, or let your knees come to the floor, and then we're slowly going to lower all the way down to the mat. You can let your forehead rest on the mat and do a little Sophie shake. Rocking the hips from side to side. Let your breath settle. And then as you're ready, we're going to shine our heart. So coming into Sphinx pose. So the elbows under the shoulders, shoulders down away from the ears. And we'll just land here. A little bit of compression for the lower back, so be gentle. You can always prop anything you like underneath you, a pillow, or if you have a bolster or a blanket, you can tuck it right underneath here. And just let your eyes close. And we'll be here for several rounds of breath. So notice in this shape, where is there tension? And just accept that there is tension when we come into new shapes, and then see what you can do with that acceptance to soften around it. So we might not be able to change the fact that the lower back compression does create a little bit of tension. That's good. It brings blood flow, right? But we can soften our face. We can soften our glutes. And we can bring our awareness to our breath. Good. Just a couple more here. Nice. And on your next exhalation, just lower yourself down, make a little pillow. Turn your head in one direction. Breathe in. And as you exhale, draw the knee in which direction you're looking up toward that shoulder. Coming into that sleeper pose. Opening up that hip, releasing that lower back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Excellent. And breathe in again. And on your exhalation, send that leg long. And we'll turn our head to the other direction. And then take your knee on that side up toward the shoulder. Release the lower back on this side. Pressing the belly into the floor with every inhale. Letting it draw back toward the spine on every exhalation. Nice. And as you're ready, slowly on your exhalation, release that leg long. Bring your forehead back to center. And then bring your hands to the outsides of your shoulders. Forehead to the floor. And tuck those elbows in close to your sides. And come up to a baby cobra. And then use the strength of your arms to come through table. And then bring your legs to touch and sink your hips back into your child's pose, legs together, and then take your arms back behind you, reach for the outsides of your feet, and come into this child's pose here. Let your shoulders soften forward, and just breathe. Nice big, deep inhalations into the back. Long, slow exhalations, releasing any tension. Good. And when you're ready, on your inhalation, take your hands to the floor, to the mat. Press yourself up, and we'll come to one cheek. And then take a twist. So cross one leg over and give yourself a hug. And take your twist.
twisting from the outer ribs over, gazing over that shoulder, lifting the chest, really finding that joy in an open-hearted shape. So pressing into the floor, maybe you lift a little bit more as you breathe in, and maybe you twist a little bit more as you breathe out. Excellent. So stretching the neck, stretching the hip, twisting, getting that wringing out sensation. Good. And as you exhale this next time, we'll just switch sides. Take your twist to the other side. Notice it might be a little bit different. Lift your gaze, lift your heart. Good. Notice if you're skimping on this twist. See if you can twist a little bit more. Wringing out the spine. I just noticed I have this yoga ornament on my tree. I don't know if you can see it, but she's in a shoulder stand. I love that ornament. When you're ready, slowly unwind, and we'll come all the way back down to where we started, to our backs, and take that lovely knee hug, knee squeeze. Good. And then take your legs up. Let's come into a supported shoulder stand. So if you love shoulder stand and you would like, and if it's in your practice and you can safely take it, you can lift your hips up and support yourself in a shoulder stand, but whatever you do, look up and not from side to side. Keep your neck nice and safe. So if you're in just a regular supported shoulder stand, the legs are just up. Good. Legs above heart, so good for the circulation. So if you're in a shoulder stand, you can take plow pose, taking your legs overhead or into your chair if it's up there. And then come on down through your deaf yogi, so bringing your knees to either sides of your ears and then rolling down. And then if you're in your just legs up, just let your legs come back down. Take them to the floor, feet come to the floor, and then tuck those feet up near the hips. And take your hands to your side, palms face down. Go ahead and come into a bridge pose so we can slide, snuggle our shoulders underneath us and clasp your hands if you like underneath you. Not necessary, you can keep your hands just pressed into the mat. And another great de-huncher, if you squeeze your shoulder blades toward one another and lift your hips a little bit higher. Yeah, bridge pose. Again, another pose where you don't want to look around. You want to keep your gaze up toward the ceiling, keeping your neck safe. We'll take one more breath here and then slowly lower. Let it go. Let it go. Take your knees again, wide as your mat. Just give yourself a little windshield washer action here. And then bring your feet hip width. Take your hips and bump them over to one side. I'm going to the right. You do you. Take your legs over to the opposite side and then come into your twist. So you can keep a loving hand on the top leg if you'd like and turn your gaze in that opposite direction, giving yourself another stretch for your neck. Gentle, gentle. I've never done yoga by my Christmas tree. This is kind of fun. I get to see it from a whole different angle. Just take a nice, big, deep breath and see if you can release a little more in that hip. Maybe you can turn your neck a little bit more, get a little more of a stretch. Good. On your next breath in, let's come back to center. Neutralize the spine. So take your
your spine to the floor. And then bump your hips to the opposite side and take your twist. You can open up, take your gaze toward that extended arm on the opposite side. Just close your eyes and let yourself melt into this twist. Just releasing any leftover tension in that hip. See if you have one more breath and one more long exhalation to really let go, really twist. Maybe turn your head a little bit more, maybe soften that shoulder a little bit more. And then as you're ready, slowly come back up to center. And take any movements that might be joyful for you. So maybe you're ready for that wholehearted, full out happy baby, reaching for both outsides of the feet, rocking from side to side, or just pressing a little bit more on those feet so you can send those knees toward your shoulders, toward your armpits. Breathe in and smile. We've had a great practice. Perhaps you found some pockets of joy. And now you're ready for your final pose, your final shape, which is that Shavasana that might be more joyful with a blanket covering you up, or a blanket over your belly, or a blanket under your neck. Whatever you choose, see if you can settle in. Not for a long winter's nap, just for a short rest. And then once you find that position that seems to be just right, as Goldilocks might say, just let go. Just allow the face to soften. Allow the shoulders to melt down toward the floor. Release any tension in the hips and the legs. And just let the feet open out. Relax the arms and the fingers. Whole body, soft, relaxed, peaceful, and joyful. Two words of wisdom from the Book of Joy, which is a book about the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu's amazing friendship.
And this is advice from the Dalai Lama. If something can be done about it, what need is there for dejection? And if nothing can be done about it, what use is there for being dejected? And from Bishop Tutu, he offers the Serenity Prayer. God, give us the grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed, courage to change the things which should be changed, and the wisdom to distinguish the one from the other. When you're ready, deepen your breath and bring small movements to the body, fingers, toes, turning the head from side to side. Then take your time to roll to one side and decide which side would give you the most joy, and just come into that fetal position. Notice how you feel. Perhaps a little more open, a little more joyful. When you're ready, use the strength of your arms to bring you up to a comfortable seat, and allow your eyes to close and your hands to rest wherever they're comfortable. Let those shoulders relax down away from the ears. And find a little brighter posture, perhaps, than when we began the practice. Notice your hips. Are they a little more open? You did that. Good job. When you're ready, take your arms out wide, sweep them up, reach up for all the joy, and bring your palms together in prayer, and draw them down into your heart center. Let your chin come down to your chest, bowing to your inner light, your inner joy, which is there in every moment if we can just sweep away some of the distractions, right? Thank you so much for showing up for yourself. And by extension, really, we are doing this for those we love. And that joy actually does spread even farther than we will ever know. So to that I say, namaste. I honor you. I honor your light. Have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste and joy.
You need a red mat for Christmas.
I know. I was looking for one. I know. Maybe I'll order one. That would give me
I'm just
joy.
kidding. That doesn't make any difference.
I know. I agree. I don't have a green one. I have a few different colors, but I don't have anything that really matches my green. So. Yes, that's a good idea. I'll do that next time.
So it's called the Book of Joy.
Yes, the Book of Joy, Dalai Lama. Let's see.
Oh, I'm going to get that.
It's so fun. They are such good buddies, and it's so fun to read about their friendship.
Oh,
Yeah.
that must be a wonderful book. Thank you.
Sure. Okay.